Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and there has been a lot of talk about Browns news, rumors, so we're going to talk about all of it on today's show, and this is about the people, what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to talk about, okay? So do not miss out on videos just like this. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be a part of the show. Every Wednesday, we go live and do a mailbag, and the Browns make moves daily, okay? So it's totally free to hit that subscribe button. I make a video every time they do something. Every time they're reportedly looking to do something, I've got you covered. Don't miss out if you're a diehard Browns fan. Hit that subscribe button. The first question we've got comes from Sky Humbert with the $5 donation. Appreciate you, Sky. Might sound crazy, but if Nick Chubb's a free agent, you should get him. Oh, man. I loved Nick Chubb a lot back in the day, man. I honestly didn't want us to get rid of him at the time, but I think his time has sailed here in Cleveland. You know, it's Judkins' season. When fully healthy, Judkins was almost looking like a Chubb 2.0 here. Sampson got our rookie backing him up too. Honestly, I liked Raheem Sanders when he got into the games as well. So as much as I love Nick Chubb and I have his jersey still, I don't think that's how Cleveland's going to use their limited cap space this offseason. But shout out to Sky for bringing up 24, the legend. James Harper with the $20 donation. Shout out to James. Just getting here. What's up, Browns fans? What's up, Joey O and the producers? What's up, producer? Not stoked about Njoku leaving, but I also can't forget all the drops. He's a legend, though. Will be missed. I'm going to need a new jersey. LOL. Yeah, when I first heard the news, James, also instant reaction was simply sad about Njoku leaving in the 9 years. He loved Cleveland. He wanted to be here. But ultimately, this was a scenario where the Browns sat down with David, and they just couldn't get a deal done, right? I mentioned how the Browns have limited cap space. Harold Fannin is their tight end of the future. They can't afford to pay a second tight end what Njoku's looking for, which is probably closer to $9 million a year at this point. Heck, a team might give him over 10 if they're making a playoff push and think Njoku could be the difference maker. He's an athletic tight end. Still feel like he could have had more of a breakout year than like every year. I saw the talent and the athleticism in Njoku. I was like, he's going to break out. Didn't feel like we necessarily had that superstar season. You know, towards the end of a year or two ago, he started to be a beast in fantasy. I'll tell you that. But that's what happened in Njoku. Shout out to James for sharing the emotion. Next up, we've got Prime Fan. Do you think Myles Garrett sounded like he wants Shedeur to start, or did he sound unsure? Interesting question here from Prime Fan because, you know, Myles Garrett was on a podcast with Micah Parsons, and they were talking about Browns quarterback rumors, who's going to start, and Myles said this about Shedeur. That's who we're looking at as the guy. We're going to give him a shot to prove that he's the guy. We're not going to give anyone that title until they go out there and earn it. He was the last person to be on the field. He showed some flashes. We're going to give him an opportunity. But I feel like everyone on the roster is going to get a shot. Shedeur was the last guy on the field, so he's obviously going to get first service. Deshaun, whoever else is on the roster, they're going to get a real look. Because this is interesting. Obviously, the Browns have been reportedly interested in Malik Willis, bringing in other quarterbacks, testing out Watson, testing out Shedeur. Not much mention of Gabriel, thankfully. But honestly, I think Myles is just tired and he wants to win. Like, he's not here to say, oh, who's my favorite quarterback? Who do I like the most? He wants to win. He wants to win, and he wants us to start the best quarterback in the room. And last year, that was Shedeur. He won 3 games. Flacco won 1. Gabriel was part of 1 win. But Shedeur's 3 wins, they weren't perfect. Like I said, I've been the guy saying he had a lot of ups for a while, but there were also some downs in the bad situation. But he was the best one last year on the roster, so that's why, like Myles said, he gets first service. He's in this mix. But ultimately, Myles is tired, folks. Okay? Remember when he put this on his Instagram story? This was the day we hired Todd Monken. Dude's exhausted. He just set a record, the NFL single-season sack record, and we won 5 games. He sacked Drake May 5 times, and we got blown out in that game. Okay? I think people are reading a little bit too much into if Myles wants Shedeur to start or not. He likes Shedeur. He's just focused on winning. And so if Shedeur gives us the best chance to win, if Shedeur goes out there and wins the quarterback battle, boom, we are all in. He wants what we all want, and that's just to win. And Shedeur will get a shot. He was the last man standing last year. We won more games with Shedeur than any other quarterback on the roster. He's absolutely got a great shot here. So, don't overblow it. Myles is just saying, yeah, Shedeur's got to get a great shot, and I want whoever's the best man to win. That's what we're all saying. You tell me, though. You think Shedeur should start for the Cleveland Browns? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Give me a letter down below. Who do you think Browns should start? If you think it should be Shedeur, type Y for yes. Not, type N for no. JJ Mad. Seems like he's a guy typing N for no on that question. He said, get Malik Willis and get rid of Sanders. Have Watson and Willis battle it out. Make Gabriel the third string. JJ Mad. Not a fan of Shedeur, we know. Thank you for the $20 donation, JJ Mad. But I have a feeling JJ Mad's about to start some controversy in the comment section here. Okay? Yes, the Browns are rumored to get Malik Willis, but Malik Willis is probably going to get a deal worth $20 million a year, at least. Orlovsky thinks it might even be up to $50 million for 2 years, right? So if you bring in Malik Willis, it's not to battle. He's the starter. Otherwise, there's no point in bringing him in just to battle. That's an expensive guy to bring in for a quarterback battle. And I think Sanders is much more worth having on the roster than Dillon Gabriel is. No need for Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur showed he could be. If you don't think Shedeur should start, he showed he could be a fine backup with some ups, with some positives. Gabriel gets in the game's over. You're going to lose. So I would get rid of Gabriel before Shedeur and let Shedeur be in this battle with Watson and whoever else. Try and win this thing. But I appreciate JJ Matt for sharing the take. That's what the show's about. I want everybody's voice to be heard. Matthew, what about wide receiver free agency? Hashtag Browns. Good question here from Matthew Spalding. One that we just talked about pretty recently, actually, on the show is Brandon Ayuk's most likely going to get cut. Okay? That would be a cheap wide receiver one, potentially, for the Browns if they did want to go sign Brandon Ayuk, but he's had so many character issues in San Francisco. A lot of wide receivers do. I don't know if Cleveland wants to bring that guy into the locker room and just make it more of a drama show, but it would be a Cleveland Browns move to bring him in. Alec Pierce, probably one of the top wide receiver free agents. I don't think Cleveland makes that big of a splash because I think he's going to get overpaid because of the market. George Pickens likely to get franchise tagged and traded from Dallas, or just franchise tagged and staying in Dallas. So I actually think the draft, Matthew, is the place to get your stud wide receiver. Love Denzel Boston lately. If someone like Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson slipped to 24, it'd be a dream for the Brownies. But also more likely a guy like KC Concepcion will be available down there. There will be some exciting rookie wide receivers in this class. A couple Indiana guys to look at as well. So stay tuned on that front. We got more Browns questions, rumors to talk about. But first, give a special shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app, and I've been playing ever since. Been picking more on Luka every week, and he hasn't let me down. Make sure to check if PrizePicks is available in your state today. It probably is. They are available in 50 states. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections if you get your picks right. You could cash in, pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. Here's an example of a lineup that I made this week. Had Franz Wagner, more than 9.5 points. You know we got to keep it in Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell, more than 21.5 points. You can make lineups just like that if you download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. Small edits. Can the Browns trade for Tyreek because he's a solid wide receiver and not that good, not that cold? Interesting question here from Small Edits. Here's the thing about Tyreek Hill. You want to talk about fat contracts that you'd have to deal with? Tyreek Hill would be one of those. And I don't think that's an investment Cleveland needs to go out and make. And listen, Tyreek, when healthy, I mean, he was best wide receiver in the league conversations, okay? He is older. He is coming off an injury. And he's expensive. I don't think that's the Browns' move here. Like I said, it's probably a Cleveland specialty is to buy low on a wide receiver like they did with Amari Cooper, like they did with Jerry Jeudy. That's what Cleveland does, and I would look for the draft for a wide receiver solution here for Cleveland. Devin Zimmon. There is zero benefit to starting Deshaun Watson. He's not going to be re-signed after the year is done. It just takes away real game experience from Shedeur. Good stuff from Devin here. Yeah, I hear you, man. The only way Deshaun Watson starts is if you think he can play anything like he did in Houston. It's the only way. If you don't see that out of him, there's no benefit to doing it. He's got a year left, and he's not going to be on the roster. However, from the other perspective, because of that, if you think you can get that out of Watson, it's your only year to do it. But to your point, I think it's better you give Shedeur actual reps here this time in an offensive line, see how it looks. If it's not great, okay, move on. 2027, QB class is stacked. But I would love to see what Shedeur could do here in a better system. Next, perfect timing, 6-7. Are we ever going to win the Super Bowl? Perfect timing, 6-7. I wish. I'm praying, man, that the Browns make a Super Bowl in my lifetime, in the next couple years. And I think they could. I really do. At some point, you got to get this thing right? We've made the playoffs multiple times in the past decade. Just got to get over that hump. 2020, don't get me started on the refs cheating for the Chiefs in that game. Okay? The touchback, missed helmet to helmet. Don't get me started. Browns going to be in the Super Bowl that year. So I say it's going to happen. I'm optimistic. You tell me, though. The Browns is going to win the Super Bowl in your lifetime. Maybe put you how old you are if you want. But let me know if you think this is going to happen in the comment section. Let's go to Joshua Miller. What about adding Cade Otton as our number 2 tight end? Shout out to Joshua Miller. Cade Otton, another free agent tight end who's had some good stats in Tampa Bay. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's also projected to get like around $8 million a year too. I think Isaiah Likely, for a similar price, is your guy to bring over to Cleveland. So, not a bad shout. What would also be interesting, Josh, is does David Njoku go to Tampa to replace Cade Otton and team up with Baker Mayfield once again? I think he also might follow Stefanski to Atlanta, and then Kyle Pitts becomes a free agent, which is another name Cleveland could look at. But yes, they're going to get a tight end too. So shout out Joshua Miller for giving us an option here. Mike Nintendo, will the Browns trade for A.J. Brown? Another good question here. These rumors actually did come up last season, and now it seems more likely than ever that A.J. Brown does get moved, does get traded. I think if that happens, Mike, it's a blockbuster. Like Denzel Ward's in the deal, if that happens. Hey, if Fangio wasn't staying in Philly, they would have gotten after Jim Schwartz too. So, who knows? That would have really brought Denzel Ward over to Philadelphia. But if that happens, that is a blockbuster. He's another wide receiver, though, that's had his moments publicly, and it would be an expensive contract to take on. So, will they? Probably not. But I'll let you know if they give the Eagles a call about this. Robert Colbert, what is the latest word on the new stadium? Well, as you know, Jimmy has been investing in it. It's approved by the city, and I think they want it to be up and ready by 2029. I believe that was the last thing that I read about the stadium. So Maybe that's what we're waiting for to make the Super Bowl. Is the brand new stadium, okay? Maybe that's why the Browns are just waiting to be good until they have a nice new stadium that Jimmy wanted. I'll keep you guys posted on everything Browns, and I post all over my social media about them, so give me a follow on Twitter, JoeyO70, Instagram, Brownsport IG, and TikTok, JoeyO Brown. Make a lot of short-form content all across here, and I'm tweeting every day, multiple times a day on X about the Brownies. So, give me a follow. Appreciate you guys being here with me for the mailbag edition of the show. And I'll see you again. More videos.